Bino Fisher has been an architect for a number of years, and he's lived out on the West Coast, but he's really getting up there in years now. Bino Fisher lived in Germany during World War II, and he fell in love with a young lady when he was young. He fell in love with a young lady named Anne. And right at that time, when they were going to get married, the Nazis separated them. Bino actually was taken off to a concentration camp, and there he was beaten and he was abused. He didn't know what happened to Anne. He had no idea if she was even alive. And it was several years that he was in the concentration camp, and all he could think through all of that time was his faith in God, that somehow he and she were meant to be together. And he couldn't lose track of that belief, and he held on to that belief, and he trusted that belief. When the war finally came to an end, and those people were literally liberated in Germany, Bino then grew more afraid than ever, because he didn't know how he would be able to ever find Anne. Was she dragged off somewhere to a foreign country? Was she even alive? Had she forgotten him? He didn't know. Several months after the war was over, it wasn't a long time, but several months, he was in Stuttgart, Germany, and he was on a bus, and he was going down the street, and he was looking out the window, and he saw a woman, but it was the way she walked, and it was the way her hair flowed in the wind. And he literally went to the front of the bus and he jumped off the bus. And then, because there were so many people on the street, he couldn't see her. He'd been up high on the bus. Now he was on street level, and the crowds were pushing in on him, and he went up one side of a street and down the next, and he found her. And it was her. It was her. And they held each other and they cried, but these were happy tears. Everything about his life that had been wrong was made right with the snap of a finger. Now let's bring this home. Just forgive me. How do you go through 19 surgeries and end up being the one who peps up the family and the medical staff and church family, not to even mention the minister? How does that happen? It takes an extraordinary person with extraordinary faith. Linda is the one with the smile on her face. We have always known that about her. Long before any illness, she's the one that smiles, isn't she? I wish you could have known her doctor. I think he felt as though he was losing his best friend when he sent her home, because she's the one that helped keep him going. This man who would stand up for 9 hours of surgery, 4 hours of surgery, then go on to the next patient. She's the one that kept him going. Her smile, her witness, her attitude, her belief, her trust, her faith. Sometimes it takes God a while to make things right. But He will do that for each and every one of you. Sometimes things are made right at that moment when we die. Sometimes it happens while we're still alive on earth. But don't ever lose track of that big picture. There is nothing that has ever happened that God won't be able to resolve and finish and complete. When you have that big picture in your mind, you can make it through today's hardships. In the words of Isaiah, because this God is coming to save you. So, put a smile on your face. Amen.
Thank you for joining us on our pre-recorded Sunday morning service. If you would like a copy, you can contact the office at 660-359-6762 or email us at wesleyum@sbcglobal.net. Feel free to visit us in person or online at wesleyunitedmethodist.us, where you will always find open hearts, open minds, and open doors. May the blessings of Jesus Christ be upon you in every aspect of your life.